Hey everyone, my name is Brendan Snyder. Thank you so much for joining me and welcome to a special video called How to Move 11,000 CDs and More. So this is a special video for me because I get asked this a lot. You know, I have over 11,000 CDs. I live in New York City, a tiny little apartment, and people are always asking me, when are you going to move to somewhere bigger that can house all of those CDs and so forth? And I've got really big news. So I did buy a house. I am moving out of my tiny little New York City apartment. I am headed over to New Jersey, Bloomfield of all places, and I'm going to be setting up there. I'm going from a 350 square foot apartment to a 2,000 square foot house. So yes, I am finally gonna have a lot of space for CDs. I'm even gonna get some custom millwork made and everything so that I can finally get them out and so forth. But for now, I've got to find a way to move 11,000 CDs from this tiny apartment out to New Jersey. And so that's what this video is going to be about here. I'm going to break down how I'm going to do it and so forth. And yes, I am going to use movers, but at the same time, there is a particular way that I think is best to do this. I've talked a little bit about it. I've got some other videos and things that relate to this. They are going to be links in the description. I'm going to talk about them throughout. But for now, at least, this is how we are going to proceed with moving 11,000 CDs. All right, so the first thing to do is I've got to make a bunch of boxes like these. If you guys have watched any of my other videos, you know about the banker style box. These things here each hold inside 90 CDs like this. And the key, in my opinion, of making a successful move is when you box these things up, that they stay really tight inside without a lot of jostling around. That's what we're gonna do. I've got 103 of these around the house, but at this point, I've got to make some more for all of the CDs that I've got laying out. And so the first thing up is going to be starting with this here, one of the banker boxes. They come like this, they're flat. We're going to break it down and construct it. I have made a full-length video on how to do this box. I'll leave a link in the description. We'll get into more detail of it. You're going to see a quick montage of me putting one together, but for that more information, do check out that link. As I mentioned, banker style box is a standardized style box, and these things are great when cut down. They form this kind of box here that I just made. So we'll get into that and we'll go through this. And of course, now this part is the arduous labor portion of this. All right, so the first part of construction is to grab one of these here, and we've got to separate the lid, which actually comes attached to this thing. And if you can pull really hard, it just kind of comes right off like that. And then it's just a matter of folding it and so forth. So it's not that much work in it, but you know, still takes a little bit of work here. And this is part of the sort of easiest portion of this, as opposed to what we'll get into in just a minute when we actually have to start measuring and then cutting these boxes down. But see, the lid goes together really easy like that. Now we'll shift views here and you'll watch the rest of it. All right, so now we got to take this thing here and we've got to separate it at the seams, and I just kind of lay it down on the floor, and if you pull hard towards you and then flip it over, you can do that for both of these here. All right, so the next thing to do is get your dimensions on the box. And as I mentioned, I've done this in a more detailed way in the other video, and so you can go ahead and watch that to get the exact dimensions and all that good sort of stuff. But we simply get these 4 dimensions on here, and from that, then we are able to pull out the X-Acto blade. And as I may always remind you guys, definitely always cut away from your fingers on this sort of thing here. And so we simply start cutting into this, and as we keep going, you'll see how this thing develops. All right, and so with that, the last cut there, we can throw this part of it away, and we're just left with this portion of it, which if we stand up like this and fold together like so, and then flip it around here and pull this up, we end up with this portion of it here, and we just want to remove these flaps here. And once we cut those off, then we can begin loading this up. So with the flaps cut off of this thing, we've now got ourselves the right size CD box made specifically for putting CDs in. So spine side up goes right in this thing, and as you can see, it's right to the top. So it is a good thing, and we can just keep loading it up. And when we do, we'll get 90 CDs, 3 rows in this thing, and then we just simply take our lid here, put it on like that, and we've got our box ready to go, and we can put it with the rest of these over there and keep going. So I got 10 more of these things to do. I'll see you back in a bit. There you go. That is the 10 boxes that I just made, each of those holding 90 CDs. So 10 boxes, 90 CDs, 900 CDs there. Not far off here from my wall of wonder, 800 CDs in that rack right there, but I am gonna let the movers handle that. As you can see, they're outside the door. 48 more of these boxes. So lots more around the apartment, but adding this into that original number of 103, now 113 of these things. Lots and lots of CDs. I did want to show you guys this. Didn't mention it earlier, but I have added these plastic bags, liners, around the disc themselves, in case this thing here hits any water or rain during the move or things like that, it will be protected. So on to moving day now. When the movers arrive and load all this stuff up, we'll see how things go. Well, it's finally here. It's moving day. So got to move all these boxes that are here. Got the ones that are down there. 48 of them right there. And if we continue on into this back room here, there's a bunch more stuff. Box sets. You've seen all of those boxes. And of course, you guys know about the wall of wonder that's there. Lots of stuff to be packed up, just waiting on the movers. And then we're going to get things going here. All right, and so it begins, the stack of 11,000 CDs being moved in the truck. All right, so we finally made it. This place is empty. I can't believe it. 16 years of living here. Remember all those boxes? 48 of them were there. This place is now cleaned out. I am ready to be on my way to bigger and better things. So here I am, moved in, at least got all the stuff in. You can see Noodle checking things out there. 105 of those boxes are behind me there. Now I went through that process at the beginning. This is the Wall of Wonder. I'm reinstalling it here. I did talk about getting some custom cabinetry made, which will take place where those 105 boxes are, but that's going to be a little bit. I've got to hire a contractor and get all that sorted out, and then I'll have that done. But for now, getting the Wall of Wonder reset up here and trying to get those 105 boxes reordered because I had those things in stacks by genre. So the 12, the grouping of 48, and there would be 12 of those, and one stack of that was rock, one was glam metal, one was heavy metal, and one was alternative rock. And they generically went alphabetical, A's at the top and Z's at the bottom kind of a thing. And who knows what kind of order they got in when delivered. And that's just kind of what I'm finding here. So, reason why to do the type of packaging that I did in boxing your own CDs is not only so that you know exactly that these are protected right and so forth, but what I'm finding here on this, I only had them pack up the 800 from the Wall of Wonder, and I really didn't think it was going to be that complicated of a matter, but it has certainly turned out to be that way. Let me show you what I found. So this is one of the boxes that they packed. And when we open it up here, this is what we find. So it wasn't even packed all the way to the top, right? They're just kind of randomly thrown in there. Some of these go together, some don't. I found things mixed from with A's, D's, and Z's in one box. So then trying to get it out onto the wall into this here has been an absolute nightmare. Not to mention the fact these things jostle around and move the whole time. And of course, I'm finding a number of cracked cases, which we all don't like. So at least in my opinion, that is why you want to do your own packaging. You want to maybe perhaps do something like what I showed with these white boxes, cutting down, making something specific that holds them tight in the order that you want them. Otherwise, when they arrive, it's sort of willy-nilly. It's any man for himself. And I'm spending a lot of time trying to figure out the exact order I used to have them in and what will make them get back into that grouping. I'm very particular. I like to have a specific one starting and a specific one ending, and I don't like bands to return on the shelves and stuff like that. So trying to get the exact, R's and S's and everything next to one another, it's proven to be a lot. And this is only talking about 800, not 11,000 like all of those. So I'm really glad that I went down the process that I did. I hope this video has helped show you or shine a light at least on what it's like to move really large collections of music, maybe giving you some pointers on the best ways to do it. We saw how the movers did things. We saw how we set this up at the beginning and what it was like bringing all this stuff in. And so that's just a small fraction of it. But if this video here can help, give you a little bit less headache in your move, then I hope it was worth it. All right, everyone, take care. Have a great day. And if you're moving, good luck to you. And I'm going to be spending some time finishing all this stuff up here. And you'll see in future videos, I'll still probably be unpacking for a while, but it is what it is. All right, take care, everyone. Bye-bye.